Okay.
So we do have a quorum. We're waiting for Ann and Chris to show. And the meeting minutes from last month, anybody have anything on it? They look fine to me. Yeah.
Fine.
So
Make a
all in
motion to
favor?
approve the meeting minutes, special meeting minutes of October 3rd, 2024.
Thank you, Darrell.
Second.
Thank you, Sarah. All in favor? Okay. Um, all right, so let's push on.
Yeah, so I just wanted to give everybody here an update, and the file for the guest speaker, I'll send that around to everybody after this too. So I've just been sort of sending out letters to everybody who we had on the guest speaker list, and doing some of the follow-up on that, and with apologies to Ty for having kept her in CC on all these. So she's got a full inbox at the moment. To go through them really quickly, Dr. Cassandra Taylor, I haven't heard from her yet, although I think she probably will be unable to attend given regulations and rules from FDA. But I'm going to contact her one more time. Dr. Jillian Shower isn't sure yet. She's the executive director of CANRA. So I'm just following up with her again. Christina Dempsey, who is the founder of the Cannabis Policy Lab, she's not able to attend, but she gave us the name of Tyler Klimas, who's the director of the Nevada Cannabis Program, which is a rather well-run and successful program out in the state of Nevada. And then also Eric Gunderson, who is the director of the Maine Cannabis Program, who is probably another really good speaker for us. I've sent emails to both of them. Tyler hasn't gotten back to me, and Eric has an out of office until December 9th. So I'll follow up with him on Monday. And then Rick Fox, I haven't heard back from him yet. He's the USDA's office. He's in the USDA's office of the chief economist, and is the bioeconomy coordinator. Who he also runs a large hemp farm up in the state of Vermont. Eric Berlin, I will contact him again from Denton's. Haven't heard back from him at the moment. Erica Stark, who's the executive director of the National Hemp Association, is unable to attend. I heard from her. And then the state of Connecticut has been very responsive, and we have so far, the only person who didn't respond to us was Erin Gorman Kirk, who's the Connecticut Cannabis Ombuds person, but I will email her one more time. And I don't know if maybe I don't have the right email address for her too, because I have a consultancy address, not her state address. So I'll see if I can get that email from somebody else. Lou Rinaldi, who's the medical cannabis patient advocate. He was very kind in his response, but he also requires an honorarium. So I indicated to him that I didn't think the town of Kent would be interested in paying an honorarium, but thank you very much. If anyone wants me to pursue that, it's a $500 honorarium. But I don't know that that's necessarily. I think we probably got enough people on here who can talk on patient advocacy, and that side we don't need to do that. The Social Equity Council for the state of Connecticut, again, has been nice and responsive. Andrea Comer, who's the chair of the Social Equity Council, she's confirmed, so she will be attending. And then Brandon McGee, who's he's actually the new executive director of the Connecticut Social Equity Council. He too has also said that he would attend. Michelle Siegel, who was the commissioner for the Connecticut Department of Consumer Protection, is no longer there, but she was very kind in her response too, sent us a referral, and has helped direct us to the Drug Control Division. So the Connecticut's drug control director, Roderick Marriott, he and his staff attorney, Lila McKinley, are looking at a representative from the drug control division. So they said they'd get back to us probably within the next 7 days with 1 or 2 representatives from the DCD. And then Brian Hurlburt, who's the commissioner for the Connecticut Department of Agriculture, referred us to the actual commissioner, who is Brian Caffarelli, who is unable to attend. And then I think the only other person who I contacted, who I haven't heard from, is David Lehman, who's the former commission of the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development. But I don't have a direct email address for him. But so far we've got 3 confirmed, and then looks like 1 or 2 more from the drug control division who would be attending with us.
So really, even with 3 or 4, that's fine, right? I mean, we could have a reasonable conversation and information share with that.
Yeah, I'd call it a very good start. And again, if once word is out about it, and we have that, plus we've launched the survey, if the town's interested in doing another forum, we can reach out to some more people from there. We'll have some traction at that stage too. I think from our perspective, from the zoning board, we certainly, I think after the forum and with information from the survey, can begin to start to draft the first series of regulations, just to keep to our own timeline here to make sure that we're, kind of pressing ahead here and being mindful that we do have a moratorium that we want to work against that timeline.
Right.
My only concern is that we're heavy on the social equity side, which may not be as applicable in a small town like Kent. I mean, out of the Connecticut people, I had definitely checked, that Aaron Gorman Kirk, the Michelle Siegel, and Brian Hurlbert as sort of being maybe the most practical ones for us. So it'll be interesting to see if we can get the referral from Siegel in, just so we have sort of the nitty gritty nuts and bolts of how to, construct language as opposed to maybe some of the grayer areas that the social equity side might handle or have a perspective on.
Yeah, and once I think I can go back to some of these people and just see if they have other recommendations for us too. We would like to kind of broaden this out as much as we can. I am mindful too that I think I would like to see somebody from the agricultural side here represented, because that specifically talks to our capacity to regulate on this.
Totally.
And again, maybe we could also do this as 2 public forums and kind of talk about drug control and social equity in the first one, because social equity does relate to the licensing and all of this.
Right.
And then in the second, we say we're gonna, because that's gonna take up a lot of questions just from the audience in that regard. So we could say that in the second forum that we would plan to do maybe early in the spring, would focus more on the agricultural sectors for this as opposed to the business side. So that's an option for us too. And well, the survey feedback may also indicate to us where we need to educate and help inform the town.
So remind me again what date we were talking about for this forum?
January 16th.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Sarah. I mean, you've done a lot of work here. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm also happy over the holiday season to start to at least draft some regulations for us to take a look at, like very I would say kind of on the surface, but enough that we can sort of begin to ask ourselves what are the main questions that we need to be addressing in all of this too. And maybe pull some regulations from various towns. And just get a perspective so that we've got something, so that we're not starting from a place of zero.
We certainly have our in-house expert here. Thank you.
By that you mean Ty?
No, I mean, and Ty's good too.
And just on that note, I don't know if you want to consider or not, but just talking about like surrounding towns, a lot of them chose to go the ordinance route rather than a zoning regulation. So once you get into it, that may be something you want to just keep your mind open to as well. If that might end up being a better way or not.
Yeah, I'm open either way. I mean, I think that's a question for us to tackle with the larger commission too.
Right.
Yep. I will share the document with everybody just so you can see kind of where we are. It's got my notes on it and email addresses, and the people who are confirmed are in green and the people who are no are in red.
Okay, great, great. All right, so that was the single agenda item that you had, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And Ty, I don't know if you want to do just a very brief update on where we are with the survey, for everybody.
Yeah, so I mean, I have the town's SurveyMonkey account and it's very user friendly. So I mean, you had already drafted a list of questions that you were interested in having on the survey, and I input that into the SurveyMonkey form. And it'll generate a QR code, or we can print them out and leave them in various places. We could put the QR code in different places, also post everything on the website or send it out through, messages through. So there's lots of ways to get that survey out. Just whenever you guys are ready. I think the intention had been to wait until the educational forum was complete so that you may pick up a couple extra questions from that you wanted to add. So that was my understanding of where you were at with the survey. So whenever you guys are ready, it'll go very quickly to put that together and get that out.
Ty, can you, I just chatted you. Can you see the link that I just chatted you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I am with the guest speaker list. So if you want to download that and put it in the group folder or the public folder.
Will do. Yep, absolutely. And just one more thing to note, I did speak with Joyce in the selectman's office about, the Zoom room and making sure it's at its best possible situation for this forum. There are sometimes a little bit of glitches with that room. So she's working with the Zoom people to make sure that, we've got the latest and greatest updates, and she will do like a little educational thing with me to make sure it's running properly. And she's actually volunteered to be available at that meeting as well, so that there's two of us, that can handle, both the in-person and hybrid kind of.
Well, it would be nice to get back to a public forum. Yep. So, Anne, we just went over the guests that were invited, and that was the list that Ty was talking about that she's going to file on the town record. There were probably maybe half a dozen people that could come so far.
Thank you. Okay, I'll take a peek.
Yeah, and I'm still following up with everybody too, just after the holiday. See, some people had out of offices till Monday. That was all I had as a major update.
All right. So shall we adjourn the meeting? What's the motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, perfect.
Second.
Okay, thanks, guys, and we'll see you next Thursday. Next Thursday.
Enjoy the snow.
Thanks,
Get
guys.
it.
Good night. Yes.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.